And we are live.
Let's
Welcome
go.
back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Wage Wise MMA podcast episode, I believe, 53 or 52?
Yeah, I think 52.
52. I'll put it in the title where it normally is, but I'll update it. Episode 52 of the Wage Wise MMA podcast. We have UFC Fight Night London, aka Lerone Murphy taking on Movsar Evloev. I'm here with my boy Ryan, as always, my friend. How are you this beautiful morning?
Oh, we are great. We are great.
I love that, mate. Absolutely love to hear that. How did you go last week? Was there anything you wanted to touch on with that event?
Last week didn't go amazing, but didn't go bad. I only lost just 0.5 of a unit. Got Eric Anders, Beatrice Mosqueda, Marwan Rahiki in the distance, which was getting kind of sweaty towards the end. Harry Hardwick seemed to tough it out. Man, Delgado really let me down. Like I did have him to end a parlay, but I played him in the distance and put like a fair bit on that, and it just didn't like. It looked like a shit bet. Like after like the first 5 minutes. Yeah, Hedges Sosa, Mosqueda, Vallejos, parlay pretty much saved my day. Looking forward to this card. How did you
Me
go?
too. Yeah, me too. I'm looking forward to this one as well. More so the top of it. Yeah, I went decent. Had a good win on Manuel Sosa round 3 TKO against Blagioki. That went pretty much exactly how I thought it would. Like, as in, it was competitive at the start. He probably doesn't look the side, and then he just, like I said in the first one, he gets that punch in the face in the second or third round, and he goes, holy shit, you got nothing left to give. And that's when he turns up, and it's been the same thing his whole career. So hopefully they keep giving us juice round 2, round 3 prices on that guy, because he's a fucking machine. He's durable, and he pushes late. So yeah, I was pretty happy with that one. Elijah Smith was very nice as well. That was looking a little bit dicey in that first round, obviously, but to get that submission win. What's that?
Did he play in the distance for that fight?
Yeah, I ended up playing him ITD.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. I thought Oral Pie was a little bit underwhelming, but also like that's just what you thought was going to happen. You can't get offense off on your back foot, so pretty confident in that one. Bruno Silva, our boy, got absolutely stiffed against Charles Johnson. Once again, I despise this cunt. I fucking hate him. Please join the club,
mate. That loss. So I put 1.5 units on Bruno Silva. That win alone would have already got me like 2 units up, and I was already counting my money. And when he said 30-27, Bruno Silva. If anyone's getting a 30-27 scorecard, it's Bruno Silva.
Honestly, it's so crazy to have that scorecard. Insane. Umar Sy with another shit the bed performance. So glad I didn't parlay him. Very happy. But other than that, I wasn't too top heavy towards the top of the card. I didn't have a lot of action up there, so it was good just to watch. Pretty impressive from Kevin Vallejos to do that to Emmett that quickly. So yeah, I thought it was a good card. How about we get into this card?
Let's do it, my friend.
All right, brother. You know the deal as always. Bottom to top. Let's kick this off with women's bantamweight. Give me just a second. I will shrink this screen, maybe, if it lets me. No, I won't, because it won't. We have Melissa Mullins taking on Luana Carolina. Prices, we have Luana Carolina, slight favourite, -130. To come back on Melissa Mullins, +110. I'm going to be completely honest. I don't give one single fuck about this fight. It probably will be fun because Mullins is like a bit of a dog. She's got a bit of dog in her, but she's pretty shit, to be honest. And Luana Carolina is much the same. Like, she's tough and she can have some fun moments, but again, she's pretty shit. She's got takedown defense issues. Also, if you can see this black thing in my screen, it's my dog's tail. He's just waddling. He's just waddling around in case you just see some random black thing popping up. I just think she might have some trouble. Like, if this is on the feet, I think Carolina probably will touch Mullins up for the most part. But it's also WMMA. She's probably not going to finish Mullins, who's pretty tough. And Mullins, I think, has some takedown upside in this one, given Carolina's pretty much been taken down in almost every fight in her career. So, Yeah, it's an ugly one. I think Price is pretty bang on, to be honest. I think Luana Carolina deserves to be slight fave. She probably should win, but yeah, I really don't give a fuck about this one. How do you feel?
Yeah, I feel like the lines are pretty much on point. It's closely lined because both are pretty bad at negating what they're weakest at, and where they both specialize, they're not even like excelling there.
Yeah.
So complete pass fight. I think for Melissa Mullins, it's grapple or bust as always. For Luana Carolina, as long as it's standing, she's got the advantage. How I see this playing out, I don't know. Could be one of those messy fights where they both look great, like in their areas, and it just comes down to just what the judges prefer, what the judges like to see, and yeah, pass fight.
Yeah.
I probably lean the Carolina side, seeing as she's the one that needs to stuff takedowns, and Melissa Mullins, like her winning this fight, is reliant on her getting it to the ground. So I'm going to side with Carolina here.
Yeah, I agree. I also think I think the bottom five fights on this card are kind of, or maybe six fights are like pretty self-explanatory for the most part. Like,
Yeah,
I'm sure we'll obviously get into them, but like I'm much more invested in like the top six or seven, eight fights in terms of betting and just like interest. So I'm pretty keen to get there later, but obviously we'll touch on all these ones as we go through. Up to women's strawweight, we've got Chanel Dyer on UFC debut after losing on Contender Series. Don't you love to see it? And now she takes on Ravina Oliveira. Price, she's a big favourite, Dyer. She's minus 500 now. The comeback on Ravina is plus 375. Ryan, please tell me, does a DWCS losing debutant look minus 500 here?
I think there's a possibility she could. I've been following her since her PFL days. She had some really good finishes in those days. I remember like when she was in PFL, people were like saying, "Oh, they should match her up against Dakota Ditcheva," which doesn't sound at
Well,
all like that bad. But yeah, the Contender Series fight definitely showed plenty of flaws in her defense that could get her in trouble. But the thing with Carol Foro is she's like a John Lineker, Jessica Andrade kind of like fighter. Like she's a hard hitter. I think she was skilled enough to match Dyer's volume and ultimately landed the more damaging shots. Um, I don't think Ravina has the skill set and style to have sustained success around here because she's like one of those fighters that kind of skirts around the outside, waiting for openings. Like she is fast and does land with power when she does, and she's happy to stay in the pocket trading, but that means she can be hit at the end of exchanges. She also throws naked left leg kicks without setup, like which means she's easily countered with the straight rights. Something I see Dyer having success on. For Dyer, she's a PFL vet and she has an extensive amateur record. Big red flags though. In the amateurs, she has losses to Shauna Bannon and Ivana Petrovic. So definitely means that there's a lot of grappling deficiencies. I don't know whether she's fixed that up yet, but she's a Muay Thai specialist, marches opponents down, mixes up her targets really well to open them up. She's athletic, got good speed, good power, great finishing ability once she hurts opponents. And the defense, as I said, was very much exposed. Like she is very willing to eat shots to give one. Sometimes will pull back with her hands down, which will get her in trouble against hard hitters like Carol Faro. Um, yeah, I think Ravina can have moments as she is fast when she darts in, but she's too happily on the back foot, which is perfect for Dyer. I think Dyer will march her down, throw kicks up the middle, then crowd her in the pocket with shots to the body and head. And the way Ravina seems to just stay in the pocket with her head in the middle, I just don't see her avoiding the big shots of Dyer. And I could actually see a finish here, maybe like late round two or round three through accumulative strikes. So I'm not going to have any action on this one as, a Contender Series fighter, contract winner is coming off a loss and she's up against someone who's like pretty tough. But I do think Dyer should get the win here.
Yeah, I'm on the same boat. Like obviously minus 500 is not appealing or intriguing at all, especially for a girl who I think like fair to say is like suffers from some durability issues. Like she gets hurt a lot for a woman in a strawweight division. So immediately not a good sign. But yeah, she's a good kickboxer, and she's probably getting better. I would say she's the better fighter in this fight. That's for sure. But like it's just minus 500. It's just tough to get to. But I think the UFC like this girl. They want to push her. They're giving her Ravina, who seems like a bit of a layup. I'm intrigued by like the under 2.5, plus 215, or even fight ends ITDs plus 190. If she's minus 500 and she's a striker and she's got a striking advantage, you have to think that surely she finishes here.
Yeah,
at the price, right? To justify that price.
For sure. And the KO line is up at like plus 320. So that is intriguing.
I think it's even big. I can see it like plus 400 in some spots. So it's like getting pretty big. I feel like that's a better play than her straight money line, to be honest.
100%.
I'm beyond that. I think I've been burnt by back in women's finishes too many times now. It's probably going to be a pass. But yeah, they're both intriguing numbers. I think she wins and should probably finish to justify that price. So yeah, so I sit on that one. We'll see where it ends up. This is an intriguing one. It feels like Shamrock is the public favorite dog of the week.
Mm-hmm.
We've got the lightweight bout here between Shamrock taking on Abdul Karim Al Sawadi. Prices pick'em now. They've moved into pick'em. So
no way.
Yeah, dollar minus 110 each way. Believe pretty much this whole time, Sawadi's been like a minus 125, minus 130 sort of area, like slight favoritism. With Shamrock being about plus 120 or around there. But it's coming to evens now, which tells you that people like the side of Shamrock here, which I don't get it. Honestly, I really don't get it. Like, I think he is fun and maybe he's interesting, but like, I think he's shit, man. Honestly, I really do. I think he's a shit fighter. He stands in southpaw. He's low volume. He's like on the feet. Honestly, he's really just a kicker at range. Like, he has no output with his hands. Really, he's not a finishing threat on the feet with his hands. He's super hittable. He doesn't move his head at all like Pimblett, but clearly the guy's tough and durable, and he likes to fight. You can tell that. Look, when he's really good, it's when he gets you on your back. He's got, he's very good at scrambling and being able to maintain position. And if he takes you back, he usually subs you pretty quick. So he is good there, and that's where he's definitely most dangerous. But I'm kind of confused because I do think physically he looked career worst in his previous fight. So I think I remember that he either took that on short notice or so there was something around that fight. He maybe I think he might have even been compromised coming into that, to be honest, because when you go back and you look at his body and his physical shape, he really did look like a bag of milk compared to what he looks like now in his previous fight. So I tend to think he looks better here, and I am expecting a better version of him here. But on Sawadi, I actually think he's a pretty good fighter, to be honest. Like, I think he's decently well-rounded. His striking's pretty effective. He can remain at range and kickbox, and he's usually pretty defensively sound for the most part. He's also got really good wrestling. He's got good timing. He sets his takedown entries up really, really well. I think his issue is he doesn't have amazing control on the mat, but he can get consistent takedowns through 15 minutes. He'll circle on the outside, lots of feints, decent speed, decent athlete overall. I think he has awkward boxing timing, and I think that's why he has a lot of success. It's not that he's super technical or he's even powerful or anything like that, but I think he catches guys off guard with his awkward timing with his shots. So just something to note. I kind of think in this fight, Shem is live to somehow get this fight to a position he wants, whether it's landing some goofy kicking strike or coming into the clinch or even Al Sawadi shoots a takedown and they scramble and he somehow comes out on top or something like that. I kind of think he is live to find a position like that, just given the fight style of Al Sawadi. And I tend to think he probably, if he wins, he has to finish. I think El Sawadi does hit hard, and obviously Shem is hittable, but I kind of think if he doesn't finish in the first few minutes, I really don't think he's finishing him on the feet. El Sawadi, that is, finishing Shamrock. I want to see Shem at weigh-ins. I think at underdog price, maybe he was intriguing, but honestly, I think El Sawadi's the much better fighter, and I think Shem is not long for the UFC, to be honest. I really don't think he's that good. So maybe you just take Shem by sub, because I really do think that's probably his only path to victory. But I don't know, man. I saw a lot of love for him this week, and I really don't get it overall.
Yeah, I see a lot of love for Shamrock as well. On the side, been looking at El Sawadi at I saw him at like minus 160, 170, like early in the week, like last week. And like for some reason, I just knew that people were just gonna throw money on Shamrock, and I waited until minus 125 to have action on him, but should have waited a bit more. Now that you're saying it's like a complete pick'em,
Yeah.
minus 110. But yeah, I like El Sawadi in this fight. There are red flags though. He's had 4 cancelled fights since his debut. Some of them is because of him like not being able to. I assume not being able to make weight, maybe injuries. I heard something about like a spine injury at some
Yeah, I
point.
did hear that too.
But yeah, he's hasn't fought since his knockout loss against Loic Radzhabov like a few years ago. That was a fight he was winning. But yeah, I like his style. Like for this fight, he implements a lot of movement. He's got good cardio, and he weaponizes a fast pace. Throws a lot of hard low kicks, and he looks for opportunities for little bursts or takedowns attempts. He does have poor defense and a weak chin. Like all his losses are via KO, and he seems to get hurt when he gets hit clean. I don't think Shamrock has that type of power nor striking ability. I do like um, also Wadi's work on the ground, very active and aggressive top game, heavy ground and pound and downwards pressure, and he looks to advance to like side mount, half guard or full mount when he looks to find an opportunity to force the stoppage. Shamrock, his own one UFC, lost against Aliyev by unanimous decision. He's a jiu-jitsu black belt, very crafty in grappling exchanges. His striking is just shit, as you detailed. He's from a southpaw stance. He's kick orientated. Once he commits with his hands, it's just so weak. Like he doesn't have any pop in his shots, and he'll just look to grapple immediately. Even will pull guard if it means like that'll get him tangled up. El Sawadi's not the best striker, but he's tricky, and I think he'll have the advantage due to his movement, speed advantage, and explosiveness. And while he is chinny, Shamrock just lacks that pop in his hands to hurt him, I feel. And Shamrock's just a fundamentally shit striker. Like he's also too easily hit and tends to back up. If this gets on the ground, then Shamrock does have like the crafty grappling, but I don't know if he can take El Sawadi down due to the difference in physicality. And his takedowns are like in general are just not great. If anything, I think El Sawadi will be able to take him down, and from there, I think Shamrock can like find opportunities to scramble, look to advance to a half guard or full mount, and maybe like that's a path to victory. But if anything, I see him playing jiu-jitsu off his back and just being like held down there. Whether El Sawadi though wants to go to the ground or not, I'm not sure, but he should be able to dictate the fight. And unless he gets reversed and caught in a sub, I think he should get the win here. So yeah, I did play him at minus 125.
Yeah, I'm with you. Like I think he should win, and honestly, if he wins, I think he'll look really good.
Yeah.
We're just looking at Shamrock by submissions, like plus 400 around there. I think that's a easy hedge. That's just an easy outcome, to be honest.
Yeah.
So I probably will be on that at some point. It's really his only path to victory, so it feels easy.
Yeah, this could be one of those fights where it like El Sawadi's looking incredible until he gets like caught in something.
Yeah,
100%.
Like
It'll be like that Jacob Wicklat's Gafarov fight, if anything.
Do you think that Abdul can finish it? What the fuck is going on here?
Yeah, I do think he can finish him.
Yeah, right.
He punches hard.
Yeah, hey, I'm not convinced, but we'll see. I'm gonna throw my dog out 1 sec.
You're good.
I'll be. Hang on, I'll get the next fight up. We can talk about it. All right, next. Hang on,
Yeah,
man.
I can lead this one.
Yeah, sweet as.
That's good. Yep. Louis Sutherland, 10 wins, 3 losses against Brando Perisic, 5 wins, 1 loss. Louis Sutherland, he's 0-1 in UFC, got heel hooked by Volta Walker in his UFC debut. While Brando Perisic, he's 1-0 in UFC, and he finished some guy named Alicia, who is not UFC level. I don't have the odds up.
It is Brando Perisic minus 255, Louis Sutherland plus 215.
Yeah, so this is really a fight of like 2 big units who will just crash into the pocket, throw a heavy leather. They both haven't fought the highest level competition. Louis Sutherland, he's got 7 first-round knockouts. Brando Perisic, like he's got a 100% first-round knockout rate. For Louis Sutherland, he's got a massive build for a heavyweight, almost like he looks like a power lifter, like one of those guys at the gym that just
Yeah.
walks around, like has 10 minutes breaks between sets and just like lifts like one rep. But yeah, he's all right. He throws everything heavy, particularly leg and body kicks, but he's not amazing. Sometimes chooses to grapple, mostly cage pushes and tries double legs. For Brando Perisic, I think he's very well rounded. He's athletic, fast hand speed, strong in the clinch. His takedowns are explosive, and I like his ground game. On the feet, he's aggressive too. Heavy leg kicks from distance, swings hard in the pocket. Looks to unload barrage of punches as he gets opponents to cover up, and he trains out of CKB. In a matchup like this, I have to go with the guy who's just more athletic, has faster hands, and is lighter in their feet. So I'm taking Perisic to win this fight. I think Sutherland will move like he's stuck in the mud. Like you're going to see like a difference in speed here, while Perisic will bounce in and out, pump out his jab and combos, and I feel like he's going to beat him to the punch pretty often. He'll also be able to change levels and drive Sutherland to the ground, or at the very least, slow the fight down, wear on him, and disengage. I do feel like if there's no finish early in round one, then this will turn into a sloppy heavyweight fight where they lunge in with punches, stare at each other, and then rinse and repeat, or end up just clinching against the fence. So I like the look of my non-violence play for this week. Doing a overs ladders, so doing over 1.5 at plus 110, and then fight to start round 3 at plus 184. That's a scary bet because Perisic 100% round 1 finish rate, and Louis Sutherland has 7 first round KOs. So it's scary, but I think they're fighting each other's best opponents, not including for Sutherland, Walter Walker. So yeah, I see this getting extended and dragging out and being like an ugly heavyweight fight that somehow goes the distance.
Yeah, nice breakdown. I like Perisic, man. For a guy who's had 6 fights, I think he's pretty good, to be honest. He's big. He's like relatively athletic for a big unit. He's pretty fast. He's got like decent clinch. Like he kind of reminds me of like Martin Budai in like he's got that cage clinch game as well, but he's actually faster and probably like more brutal, I would say. Like when he wants to finish a fight, he will finish a fight. You can just tell like he just has that edge of brutality in him, which I like. Like, what is Sutherland good at? Like, I don't really understand. Like, is he going to come in here and is he going to wrestle Perisic for 15 minutes? I tend to think not. And that's really the only way he's going to have success here. I think on the feet, Perisic is faster. He's bigger. He's longer. He throws with more power. He throws more volume, way more volume. I just don't understand how Louis Sutherland wins this one. So, look, I don't love the travel to London for Perisic, but Sutherland is traveling as well. So, you know, kind of I think that negates there. I heard I was watching Lucrative MMA, who I think knows this guy through City Kickboxing in New Zealand, and he was saying a lot of guys have turned down Perisic, which I'm not surprised after seeing that fight that he had in Australia. Just the brutal way that finished. I'm really not surprised people don't want to fight this guy, especially because there's not much to gain with the guy being 5-1. So I reckon he's probably been wanting to get back in there, and this was all that was on offer, and he was like, fuck it, let's just go do it. So, yeah, I think he goes to London. I think he smashes Sutherland. Hopefully he gets him out of there early, but hopefully for your bet it goes, longer. But, again, you are the one that typically picks these pretty fucking well, these violence ones. So maybe it does go to decision. But either way, I think Perisic has to be the side. Minus 255 feels fine, to be honest.
Yeah. Definitely a parlay piece.
Yep, I agree. All right, up the card to another lamb to the slaughter. It feels that way to me anyway. We've got Mantas Controversius taking on Antonio Trocoli, the professional poker player. You hear this all the time. Mantas is minus 750. Trocoli is plus 550. The comeback. Look, is it a wide price? Yes. Yes, minus 750 is always a wide price, but does Trocoli give himself a chance to win this one? I don't think so. And honestly, as long as this is on the feet, Controversius is going to literally kill this guy. He's a legit kickboxer. He's a legit striker. The only way Trocoli wins this is like some meme clip into like a guillotine. I really, honestly, I think that's the only way. Even if he's on top on the ground, I honestly think Controversious will survive. Like the only way he has to like hurt him and clip him and dive into a guillotine or something like that. But
Yeah.
even that, I think it's such a low percentage outcome. I think Chocolate just here to get the paycheck. Controversious, like I said, he's a legit striker. He's good. He's fast. He's got great kicking output. I think he should finish Chocolate round 1 or round 2 by strikes.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. The thing with Contra de Vicious is that he'll look for that judo throw, like when he crashes into the pocket, and maybe that opens up a possibility for Trocoli to kind of like work off his
Mm.
back. But that's like you said, such a low percentage thing. I see Mantis just running through him round 1.
He should legit run through him. If he
Yeah,
doesn't knock him out, I'll be surprised. I'll be disappointed and surprised.
yeah, same here.
We will see. But I mean, the fade will come on this kid for sure. He doesn't have the grappling background or anything like that, so it'll come. But
Yeah.
he looks good. He looks good. I'm keen to see more of him. I love these kickboxing converts generally, so keen to
Mhm.
see how that one plays out. All right, up the card to Mario Pinto with a all-time post-fight speech in his last fight. That is seriously up there. Taking on Felipe Franco, who is just dog shit, lost on Contender Series and now somehow comes into the UFC, make it make sense. Prices, we have Pinto minus 900, the comeback on Franco, plus 600. Ryan, is there any way in hell that Felipe Franco wins this fight?
Nah, I don't see it. I'm pretty sure this is short notice for Franco. I forgot.
It
Pinto is meant
definitely
to
is.
fight. Pinto is meant to
Parkin.
fight one of those guys that train with Aspinall,
Mick Parkin.
Mick Parkin. So that would have been. I don't know how I would have. I would have lent Mario Pinto anyway, but yeah, Felipe Franco. He is on a 2-fight win streak after his Contender Series loss to Freddie Vidal, which is you can't back anyone that's losing to Freddie Vidal. But the two guys that he fought after that Freddie Vidal fight were like cab drivers. They actually looked terrible. This guy's style is to just grind you out against the fence, muscle his way to the mats, and then look for the choke or ground and pound finish. As for his striking, he's one of those like Brazilian guys that just look for big openings to just explode, but like he's not even that good at that. Um, he's a gasser if it escapes round 1. Like every win, all of his wins are in round 1, and the one win that or the one fight that went past that, he absolutely gassed out. So Pinto, I really love this guy. 2-0 in the UFC with 2 KOs coming off that TKO over Jonata Diniz. I love his kickboxing. He's very measured, works behind a long jab, fast on his feet, carries big power. He's very boxing orientated with his defense too. Like he uses shoulder rolls and head movement, which has gotten him in trouble in the past, but he does have good footwork and distance management. And he's very athletic, able to sprawl and scramble really well, and he can mix up takedowns himself. Like we saw that in that Denise fight. Um, yeah, this Franco may put in a good like first few minutes, but I still think he's outmatched in all aspects of this fight. I reckon Pinto could sneakily get a sub here, and like I think the numbers for that is pretty nice. Like I think he's going to get a takedown in round 2, or maybe like towards the end of round 2, or like if it gets into round 3, and then try to ground and pound him out. But then Felipe Franco would just expose the neck, like he did with Vidal. And yeah, I think Pinto can get a subby.
What round?
I'm going to say 2.
Yeah, I'm on the exact same page. What can you say about this one? Honestly, I don't even know how Felipe Franco gets a chance here. Like, he looked dog shit on Contender Series. Like, losing to Freddie Vidal is, in that way, is a fucking disgrace. Honestly, it's a fucking disgrace. So the fact that this guy's in the UFC against a guy in Pinto who's actually a pretty legit guy. Like, he looks good, man, for heavyweight. He's big, he's rangy, he's athletic, he's a great striker on the outside. He clearly like can wrestle a little bit to a degree as well. So I think this guy's going to go pretty deep in the heavyweight division. And Franco's a bum. He's going to have Pinto's going to have huge size advantage here, power advantage, speed. He has every advantage in the book. I think he wins. I don't know how do you juice minus 900? No idea. Maybe you go you go under 1.5 minus 175. or you look for a prop line that Pinto by sub, like you said, plus 350, somewhere around there. Maybe that's a way to juice it. I think it's risky, like because he probably should just knock him out. But
Yeah,
maybe there's no other way you can play a minus 900. You got to start looking for weird shit like that. So Pinto wins and he should demolish him however he wants in this one.
yeah,
I think that's the last lamb to the slaughter fight. I think that's where the UFC matchmaking stops and the good shit begins.
yeah.
So very keen for the rest of these
Oh
ones.
no, there's one more lamb to the slaughter.
Higher up the card.
Yep.
Okay, no worries. We
You'll
have
know when you see it.
Yeah, I definitely will when I see it. Next fight off the ranks, we have Nathaniel Wood taking on Losene Keita. This one I'm pretty excited for. This one I'm really excited for. Prices, we have Losene Keita minus 230, 240, somewhere there. Nathaniel Wood plus 200, I would say, plus 200. So pretty solid favorite price here for Keita on debut. Obviously, he was meant to fight Patricio Pitbull, but missed weight and got his comeuppance for that. So sucked in. I don't feel bad for him. Yeah, this one's interesting because I think Wood is a good enough striker and has a big enough speed advantage that I think it means he'll be able to compete on the feet like relatively well for a part of this fight. I just think the issue is that Keita has such big power, and I think if he manages to touch him, he probably will hurt him and finish him. Like just the way that we've seen Wood sort of regress in the last a handful of fights in terms of getting hurt and recovering, and he does recover and he does push through and he is pretty tough, but like he's getting hurt by worse guys, and Keita is a big dude for the weight division. He has big power in his hands. He's just a dangerous guy. So like I do think Nathaniel, like, and not to say that Keita's like defensively infallible or like this, this crazy guy. He's not. He could be touched and he could be hurt as well. And Nathaniel Wood is a good enough striker that I think with the hand speed and the boxing that he has, there is a potential that he can look like pretty good. The issue is he's going to have to pitch a shutout. He's going to have to pitch a shutout for 15 minutes. Keita's like, he's a nasty, nasty dude, man. He has good elbows in stalling positions. So if he hurts Wood and Wood goes in for a single leg and he's trying to stall against the cage, he just hits those down elbows, bang, bang. I really think it would only take one or two and he could hurt Wood through the entire fight like that. So Keita wants to be the advancing fighter and he wants to be the one that's dictating the fight. He's going to have the physicality edge in this one. So I tend to think he will have success doing that. Like I said, Wood has been getting hit and hurt more. I don't love... Like, I think you have to go into this fight if you would knowing you're going to take some damage to win this fight. And I don't love that from the Wood side. I don't know. Like, I give Keita favoritism, but I don't really know how you get over like 65% for him here in a fight, which I think skill for skill is pretty competitive, but Keita has the durability, the power upside. So, yeah, I think it has to be Keita as the side. But I kind of think under 2.5 plus 110 is an interesting cover bet because I think if Keita wins, he probably should finish him. And I think he hurts him at least once or twice maybe in this fight. And if he does, he probably will finish him. So, yeah, I think Keita is the side. I think it's probably wide, but I think he does win. I think he probably will finish him.
Yeah, I'm a big Nathaniel Wood guy, and I hate this fight for him. I hate this fight. Nathaniel Wood has came through for me so many times as an underdog, but this is a scary fight to back him. Like Keita has all the physical advantages, and I tend to think Wood is outmatched. And Keita, he should be a lightweight as it is, and this is down at featherweight. While Wood, I've always said he should really be down at bantamweight.
Yeah.
Stylistically, Wood is all round pretty high level, particularly with his boxing, and he's more of the tactician out of the two guys. I just worry that, like, no matter how well rounded Wood is, I love his boxing. He's very defensively sound, and if he does get hurt, he has good recoverability and he does know how to win rounds. But I just worry that there's just too much firepower from Keita's side. Like he gets hit a lot and is typically getting hurt and having to rally back. If he gets hit by Keita, I think there's a chance he could be put to sleep. Like the questions around Keita really revolve around his weight cut and how he fares if this fight gets extended. Like he is cutting a lot of weight, And if he slows down, if he doesn't get the fight done early, then Wood is not a fighter you want to be going to the scorecards with in London. I also do have my questions on Keita's grappling. Like, I might have to watch more tape on that, but Wood is great at mixing in takedowns and getting control time, especially as the fight goes on. He'll just be at a huge physical disadvantage. So I'm not sure as how like he goes if he shoots. But again, if Keita is tired and fading, he might not be minding his P's and Q's and just kind of falls. Um, I'm gonna pick Keita to win. I think he can put Wood to sleep early, but if he doesn't get a finish, this may play out close. I know Wood knows how to rally back and fight for your money, so I wouldn't be surprised if he gets a split decision. But yeah, my prediction is Losene Keita. I did put a bet on Keita at plus 140 round 3 or decision. So in a
Okay.
way, I'm kind of still cheering for Wood, but not needing him to win. And I do think Wood's luck on the split decisions will be put to the test here, as Keita will just be. I see Keita landing some very damaging shots that can definitely outweigh the winning minutes that Wood has like as the fight goes along. So yeah, my pick is Keita to win in round 3 or decision.
I like it. Let me just have a look. I'm curious to see what Keita TKO price is sitting at.
It's around like
Look,
the 150 line.
yeah, plus 150. It's not, I mean, it's not terrible. I probably want a little bit more, but it's not awful. Not awful.
Yeah.
All right, let's keep it moving up the card. Headlining the prelims. I saw you had a play on this one.
hmm
We've got Mason Jones taking on Axel Sola. Prices we have Mason Jones minus 130, small favorite. The comeback on Sola is plus 110. Now, Ryan, does Mason Jones do what Mason Jones does? Come in here, get fucking bashed round 1, look like he should be finished, and then rally on? Or does Sola just bash this guy?
I think it's going to be a mixture of both.
Love that. Love that.
Yeah, this is potential fight of night here. Two guys that are tough, gritty, and love to scrap. In terms of who's able to thrive, the more chaotic this fight gets, I got to give the edge to Jones. Like, the uglier this fight looks, the better Jones will look. But the cleaner striking is definitely Axel Sola, and from what I've seen from him is that he can definitely bite down on his mouthpiece and tee up on guys who are there to be hit. I know there's this idea of French fighters, and we saw it last week with Umar Sai. And I used to think this guy was a very like French fighter in that sense, which made me bet the Reese McKee side. But I love what I saw from Axel Sola against Reese McKee, who is up in upper weight class,
Yeah.
and he finished him with those body shots, I believe, or he got a late finish. He was able to outdog him and got the late finish, and yeah, he showed some good durability there. Now this is in his actual weight class and not on short notice, and he's got a guy in Mason Jones here who is there to be hit. For Mason Jones, he will need to mix up his grappling and striking well here to wear on Sola, and if he can get his takedowns, I think he can edge out this fight. But I feel Sola has the footwork, speed, and precision to land often enough on Jones, who's a bit of a blockhead and tends to move in straight lines. And even in a dragged out war, I think Sola has the volume and cardio, as well as the dynamic attacks, particularly his body work and counters, to be a step ahead of the striking. This fight is at lightweight. I liked how Sola looked on short notice at welterweight against a very lengthy McKee. Here he has a proper camp. He's down in his natural weight. And though Jones has been impressive of late, he's kind of just relying on his toughness as well as opponents fading to win fights. And like, if this is a very like closely lined fight and Jones is very reliant on taking damage, being able to eat it, and also Sola like being completely worn down and fading in like rounds 2 and 3. I'll take the more I'll take the plus money on Sola. Sola just needs to avoid getting caught with Jones's like glancing loopy shots in close, and he needs to be sharp with his takedown defense. We all know Jones can take a punch, while Sola can be a little chinny at times, but I do have trust in Sola here. I even think he might even be able to crack Jones and get a finish. But yeah, as a plus 115 underdog in a close like fight that should really be 50-50, I like the plus money here.
Yep, I'm with you. I'm on the same side. Let me just get my notes up. I I also think this is wrong. I don't think he's 5'11". I'm pretty sure he's taller, to be honest, because Reece McKee's like 6'3", and he fucking sized up pretty damn well to him, like maybe an inch or two shorter max, I reckon. So I think he's like 6'1", maybe 6'2". I think he's fucking massive for the lightweight division, Axel Sola, to be honest with you. And he's definitely going to have a size and a physical. I think he'll look thick in there compared to Mason Jones. On Mason Jones, like, look, you can't knock this guy. He's tough. He's gritty. He's not really ever in boring fights, but he really is effectively the Homer Simpson of MMA. And it does feel like sometimes he needs to get dropped and to, get almost finished to like wake up sometimes, which I think it's terrible. Like, it is fun to watch visually and like as a fan, but if you're betting him at big minus odds and stuff, I mean, it's as nerve wracking as it gets. If you don't get him out of there, he's going to keep pushing. He's going to wear on you. He's got good judo. He's decent against the cage, but I think he's hittable, and I don't think he's super athletic. And that's two things that I think Axel Sola does very, very well. Like, he's a massive frame for lightweight. Like I said, he matched McKee for size, and that was up at welterweight. So I fancy that Sola looks pretty fucking big in there. I didn't think the stoppage versus McKee was amazing, but regardless, I think that's a pretty good look against the guy McKee, who's like, yeah, a bit of a punching bag, but he's tough, he's durable. He presents some similar threats to what Mason Jones presents, just with less grappling, obviously. I think Axel Sola's improving also, and I think that's fair to say. Like, he is developing and he's getting better, and I don't think Mason Jones is. I think we know what Mason Jones is at this point, and maybe that's enough for now, but I don't know. I think Sola's early price is pretty crazy. Like, I think, honestly, there's a chance that his size and his power will be too much for Jones to handle, and I tend to think it's like early for it. I tend to think that if it is like that, I don't think Jones is super competitive, and I don't think he can break him late like normally. I tend to think this is a violent type fight, so maybe there's value on the unders. But yeah, I'm on the Solar side. Plus 110 feels a no-brainer. I also like Axel wins in round one plus 800. Like, what I was trying to say before, I didn't articulate it very well, is that I think that Axel's upside is all pretty early in round one and round two. Like, I think if he's going to win, I think you'll know pretty quickly. Like, I think he might get in there and hurt Jones straight away, and Jones, does what Jones does, get hurt, looks for takedowns, tries to, grind on him. But I think if Sola is hurting him early in round one, I tend to think he's finishing him. So I really like Axel wins in round one plus 800. I think there's a chance he comes out here. His power is way too much for Jones. He hits him and he puts him away. So I like the plus money on Sola, and I like him to win in round one also.
Love it, mate.
Absolutely love it.
On the same side.
Yes, we are. Yes, we are. All right, up the card to... Honestly, this is one of my most excited fights for this card. I really, really like this fight. We've got Kurtis Campbell, upper featherweight, taking on Danny Silva. Kurtis Campbell on UFC debut here. Young guy, 23, 8-0. Tough matchup. Coming off Dana White's Contender Series with a performance that I would say the stoppage was interesting, for sure, but I like what I've seen from Kurtis Campbell. He is minus 240 in this spot. The comeback on Danny Silva's plus 205. I'll start with Campbell. He is like hilariously ugly looking, to be honest. Like, you look at this guy and you go, holy shit, this guy's a fucking fighter. Like, I don't know. He's just like a nerdy, geeky, ugly looking dude. And I think that plays into his role in MMA. I also saw this clip of him. He walks out to Adele. I think it was Walking in the Deep, I think. And if he does that here, honestly, I think the crowd will go berserk. And I think it would be a genuine highlight. It'll make this guy a real fan favorite. Like, all these UK people just absolutely slamming Adele as he walks out. I really think people will love it. So I think there's a massive chance he gets that fan favorite sort of tag here from this one. He's a switch stance fighter, but I tend to think he likes to fight from kicking range. Like, he's got a variety of kicks and explosive attacks. He's actually, for an English nerd, he's actually a surprisingly good wrestler in close. Like, he's very assertive. He's got good takedowns. He's very happy to mat return consistently and just keep his hands locked. I think his level of competition is questionable, but to be honest, he's done what he should have done to them. You still have to question if he can go 3 hard rounds on the back foot, which we've kind of never seen, given he's like an assertive front foot type of fighter. On Danny Silva, he clearly has faced a better level of competition. He's performed fine, but I think really it's down to his toughness and his durability because he does get hit a lot. He kind of like reminds me of like a worse Shane Burgos type of style, like in that he's, a primary kickboxer who used a lot of feints. But I talk about this like probably too much, to be honest, in terms of feints. But if you're not feinting to set things up, you are wasting the feint. That is exactly what the feint is for. The feint is to set up other strikes. If you're just feinting just to look funny or just to feint, like just to throw it, you're wasting the opportunity. They're not effective. And then I think that's what Danny Silva does a lot. Like he uses these feints, but he'll feint to come down to the body, for example. But that normally, you go to the body to set up your hands high, but he'll just continually go to the body and things like that. Like I think he's like not super efficient sometimes, which it does hurt his style. I also think he's the type of fighter who you can play to his ego. Like you can engage him away from his game plan. And you see this, he gets drawn into these battles a lot. Like we saw it in the Vallejos fight. Like I think if Campbell plays to his ego, I think that works out good for him because I think Silva will get over aggressive. He'll come in, he'll get taken down and things like that. Look, I think Danny Silva is really good overall. Like he can be out volume at time and he does slow down at times a little bit, but he's versatile. He's kind of fine everywhere and he clearly likes to fight. So I think there's three pretty good combos. He wants to be the one with forward pressure. I kind of feel like this might cause him to spend a chunk of this fight having to work up off his back. Like, I think he might get over aggressive, come in, Campbell shoots in, takes him down, Matt return over and over. I think he's going to be just on the back foot and having to have like big moments. I'm not sure he can have them at times. Vallejos was able to take him down 2 times like really easily, but Silva was able to work back up very well also. So I think he will do that in this fight. The issue is that like Kurtis loves to re-wrestle and continually work, and like I said, I think that might amount to Silva resorting to have to win like a minute of the round in a big way to really steal a round. I just see that happening. He doesn't hit like super hard, and I think the striking is like pretty competitive anyway. So he's going to have like a minute or 2 in each round to really look and win on the judges in the judges' eyes. I'm just not sure he can do it. I think it's kind of close. Maybe Campbell 60%. So it does feel weird, but I also think this has like massive value loser potential. I also think the overs or Campbell decision could look good value. Like Silva's tough. He's never been finished. I think there's probably a letdown spot for Campbell at home on debut after like a week early stoppage on Contender Series. So yeah, I get it. Like plus 200 on Danny Silva is like pretty intriguing in this spot. But I like Campbell to win by decision. I think he's just going to be doing more. He's going to be the advancing fighter. So Campbell by unanimous decisions plus 165. It's not brilliant, but I think that's probably the way I would play this fight or the overs.
Yeah, I too think the odds are pretty wide here, and Silva just screams of value loser.
Yeah.
I do like his style, but he's very technical, has good volume, crisp combos, and well rounded. But he doesn't do enough along the stretch at times. Like I wouldn't say he gasses out or fades, but his effort and overall slickness definitely drops as the fight goes along, and he fights to close margins. He went to split decision with Culibao, split decision with Lucas Almeida, and he won in Contender Series by unanimous decision against Angel Pacheco. But that was a fight where Pacheco won a contract just by showing his toughness and like being somewhat competitive at times. So
and sucks,
and he sucks too. Silva's loss against Vallejos, however, is aging very nicely, which gives me confidence he can handle the firepower from Campbell. Like Campbell's striking is dangerous, and this guy is just like you said, an ugly guy.
Ugly fucker.
Looks like a nerd, but he's deceptively aggressive and deceptively strong. I do like his stance switches. Like he throws plenty of kicks, body kicks, front kicks as he marches forward, throws hard thudding punches in the boxing range, and then will look to level change when he sees the opportunity and drives opponents to the ground. And from there, he's got like really good control. Campbell's striking is dangerous, but I don't feel it's anything different to what Silva has dealt with before. If anything, I think Silva can exploit some of Campbell's defensive tendencies, just like how he did with Vallejos at times. And he might even frustrate Campbell with his elusiveness. Like Silva does tend to get hit a lot though, but like his footwork, it makes him a little bit harder to track. But even if he's hit, he does roll with the punches, and it's hard to hit him cleanly. Like he's always like sort of moving. Yeah. Campbell's grappling and physicality here, however, is what pushes me to definitely like pick him to win this fight. If he gets his hands on Silva, either through cage pushing, clinching, or taking him down, like his top control is suffocating. Silva's takedown defense is fine, and he seems pretty aware on the mat. So I don't think he gets up often or at all in this fight, but I do think he stays safe and kind of uses his jiu-jitsu to like just not get completely full mounted or expose his neck. So yeah, I think Campbell by decision. I think Campbell like to win straight out. I haven't parlayed that or anything, but I did parlay the over 2.5 rounds with something else.
Whoa, we can agree on a fucking round play. I think that might be the first time in human history. That's crazy. I'm looking forward to seeing what Campbell looks like, though, man. He looks promising. It's nice to see an English nerd with like good wrestling. Doesn't happen very often.
Yeah, not at all.
So I'm keen to see what he looks like. And honestly, like a really good test on debut. I think it's a great matchup. It's a great test. Yeah, I mean, normally these guys at home, they'll get fed the fucking... Like, why didn't he get Angel Pacheco? Where the fuck's Angel Pacheco? Or like one of those bums.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think it's a good test. We're going to find out a lot about the kid, so I'm pretty excited. All right, I believe... Actually, no, this is not. I know who you're talking about. But I think this might be a little bit of a lamb to the slaughter type matchup, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
We've got Roman Dolidze taking on Christian Leroy Duncan, CLD. Prices, we got a CLD minus 500 and a Dolidze plus 385. Ryan, does Dolidze come out here and, you know, manage a fucking weird, you know, sub attempt and get a finish here, or does CLD style and look minus 500?
You know what? A few years ago, I think that happens. I think Roman Dolidze wins a decision probably like 3 years ago. But here, like you said, it might be a lamb to the slaughter kind of fight. Dolidze is 3-2 in his last 5, coming off that round 4 rear naked choke loss to Fluffy, which I'm sure like has taken years off his career. Like that was like very
brutal.
That was a very brutal loss. He's a dominant wrestler who's fallen a little too in love with his hands. He does have a lot of power that he can put you out with, but his striking game is just not the best, particularly at kickboxing range. Like he moves in straight lines and his movements are just very labored. I think he does his best work rushing forward and throwing wildly. If he can turn it into a dogfight, that's where he thrives and he is tough. But yeah, if he gets you down, he's very dominant and will hunt for a TKO finish to strikes. CLD, he's 6-2 in the UFC, 3-fight win streak, former Cage Warriors champ. This guy's very athletic. He's physically gifted, sharp with his timing and movement, clearly skilled all rounds, and has plenty of weapons in his arsenal. At times, he's been an underperformer, like throws a ton of flashy techniques, spinning elbows, flying knees. I find him the most effective when he's just keeping it simple with his boxing in the pocket or keeping it clean with kicks from distance. But yeah, he has a history of fucking around too much, trying to style on opponents, which like made me quite I was quite a CLD hater for a while. Thought he had all the skills but lacked the mental aspect. And yeah, I hated every second of that Armin Petrosian fight. And like a few fights after that, he got wrestle fucked by RoboCop in a very underwhelming. And then he had a very underwhelming win against Pulaev, who I actually quite rate Pulaev like nowadays.
I think that's aging pretty well, though, to be fair. Like seeing that Gaultier could even get him out of there. It's pretty good age.
100%. And like watching how Pulaev dealt with CLD, it made me so much more confident in Pulaev being able to go the distance with Gaultier. But yeah, I think CLD has paid his dues and he's putting it all together now. Sure, he knocked out Eric Anders, who is a senior citizen, but he was very impressive against Marco Tulio, like who is a very dangerous prospect. And I did not expect him to come in as aggressive as he did against Marco Tulio. I thought he'd just be on the back foot trying to point fight him, but he was very aggressive, but at the same time very poised, like especially against the fence as Tulio tried to take him down. He did get taken down at one point, but he escaped from the bottom he had Tulio on top of him, escaped from the bottom and ended up in a dominant position. And for as long as they were disengaged, he was forward pressure heavy and fought amazingly. I think Dolidze will have no choice here but to cage push and try to wear on CLD against the fence and continuously try to take this fight to the ground or try get a takedown of CLD throwing a spinning attack or something. And maybe he might take the first round just by purely cage pushing or having top time off a CLD trip or like mistake. But any exchange on the feet is going to see Dolidze like outmatched. He'll be at a huge technical deficit as they strike. He'll be so much slower, more flat-footed and stationary, and he's already proven to be very hittable. So I think CLD will pick him apart, find a shot that clips him, and find a kill shot. So I got CLD in a parlay, and I got him by KO at plus 140.
Love it. I'm on the exact same play with the TKO. I think he should knock Dolidze out, to be honest. Like, there's not much I can add from what you said. I think the speed advantage is the biggest thing in this fight. The speed and technicality on the feet is huge. Like, I think the footwork is going to keep him on the outside. I don't think Dolidze is going to be able to track him down. Even when he does, like, he doesn't have the greatest takedowns in the world. And he is, like, he's physical, but, like, I don't know. I think that CLD can, like, match him and sort of stunt him against the fence. Worst case, you know, if they're clinching against the fence. I don't mind that there because CLD is actually pretty good in the clinch. I think this guy's like putting it together. I think he's putting it together now. He's clearly like a fucking top 1%er in terms of like athleticism and physicality, and that could carry you a long way in middleweight. I just think the speed on the feet, it's like the straight shots of CLD, he's going to absolutely catch him and hurt him bad. I just don't want to see him do spinning shit. I don't want to see any of that. Like, there's just no need. Like, there's no need because what's going to happen? Like, maybe you get a highlight KO, but maybe you get your back taken and you get put in a bad position. It's just not worth it, especially when you have such an advantage, like face to face on the feet. So I'm praying he doesn't, you know, go back to his roots and do that stupid spinning shit like 50 times a fight. But
I think he's
it's CLD, so he fucking absolutely will. But like, I think if you look at the trajectory of his career, like, I'll say this. I'll say it this way. If he loses this fight against Roman Dolidze, he will never, unfortunately, and I love the guy, he unfortunately will never amount to anything in this division. I think at this point in his career, with what he's putting together, his run, his resume, where Dolidze is at, the speed advantage, the athleticism advantage, if he loses this fight, he should be done with everyone forever. I think you should never go near this guy again. But I don't think that happens, and I think he knocks out Dolidze at some point, maybe in the second round. So I'm with you. TKO plus 140 feels awesome.
Love it.
All right, up the card to, this is the Lamb to the Slaughter fight. I knew as soon as I saw it. I knew as soon as I saw it what you're talking about. Light heavyweight bout here between Iwo Baranowski taking on Austin Lane. Yeah, I mean, if this fight even takes place, I'll be pretty surprised. Price is Iwo Baranowski minus 600. The comeback on Austin Lane plus 425. Look, Baranowski's an absolute brawler. Like, he just wants to swing overhands, put one on your chin and fucking put you down. But he actually, like, he does have grappling. And we haven't seen it yet in the UFC, but he does have grappling. I've seen it plenty on the regionals. I'm pretty sure he's a judo black belt. So he's got great judo throws. I think he has some submissions as well. So, like, I don't think we've seen this guy's full skill set, which is crazy because he's come in here and he's put on an arguable fight of the year contender and a 10-second knockout on Dana White's Contender Series. And, like, just on Contender Series, I really thought Muhammad Ali, hilarious name, I really did think Muhammad Ali was, like, going to look pretty good in that fight. Like, I watched his tape and there was a lot of talk about this guy, and people thought he was, you know, had the potential to be really, really good in the UFC. Like, pretty skilled, athletic, young guy developing. And Iwo just absolutely nuked him in the first 10 seconds. So I like Iwo. I think he's good. Look, is he hittable as fuck? Yes, we saw that in the last one. Like, if Iwo Aslan's landing like that on you, I think you got some issues. And look, Austin Lane's going to be huge, 6'6". He's going to have a big weight advantage in, you know, come fight night. But, like, is he going to use it? I tend to think no. I don't even know if he makes the weight. Like, I'll be curious to see what he looks like. I think he's going to be in some trouble. But I mean, who the fuck is... Okay, let's brainstorm, right? Hey, I'm Austin Lane's coach. I've lost a couple of fights in a row. I've won one fight. I need a new career trajectory. What can I do? I've got it. Let's go down to a weight class you've never been to when your chin is already fucked and you've already got knocked out brutally like 4 times. Who the fuck is in this guy's corner? What the hell is going on here? I don't understand it. Like, this cannot be an advisable career trajectory move. I don't understand it. I think Baranowski's going to nuke him bad. I think he's going to put him on his ass really fucking bad, put him out cold. And Iwo's legend lives on. So I don't see any other way this one goes.
Yeah, I only have like 2 notes for this fight. Baranowski runs through Lane round 1, and Baranowski by sub ? And
Oh yeah.
now that you brought up by sub, that could be a good sneaky play to get some value out of this.
Yeah, I mean, I don't hate it. Like, it's only plus 450, maybe 500 in some spots, but like, yeah, I'd love to be all over it. I mean, how does it happen though? Like, Lane probably has to enter in, right? Which he might do. He might try and get in the clinch and get in close, but I think he probably has to, right, to win this fight. Like, he has to get in close, clinch him, try and wear him down, use his size and weight and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So maybe there's an angle where he gets in close, gets in the clinch, Iwo judo throws him onto his back, gets on top and hits a sub. Maybe. I don't hate it.
Mate,
Austin Lane's a bum.
He's got pretty good arm bars too. Like,
Yeah.
Austin Lane could like maybe actually like work against the fence, and then like you said, a judo throw, and I can see that arm just right there for the taking.
He's the type of guy that like would get fucking armbarred from guard. That, like, no doubt about it.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, I love those random shots, so could be a go. I find it hard to see Lane not getting chinned here.
Yeah,
he's got fucking burn the boats tattooed on him. That's crazy. All right, up to welterweight, and again, I'm very curious to see where you sit on this one. This seems like the MMA Twitter war fight of the week.
War of the week.
It seems like that. I've seen a lot on both sides. We got Michael Venom Page taking on Sam Patterson. Michael Page is a minus 185 favourite. The comeback on Sam Patterson is plus 160. How do you feel about this one? I'm curious to see what you think.
Yeah, I did a little bit of like extensive tape on both. With Sam Patterson, this guy, he's proven me wrong like a few times, especially with the Danny Barlow fight. Like, I thought Danny Barlow was just gonna absolutely take his head off, like actually physically take his head off. This guy's got a long neck. I thought he was just going to punch a hole right through that neck, and his head would be an octagon. But he's 4-1 in the UFC, moved to welterweight after that Ashmu's loss, and he's coming off back-to-back round one knockouts over Danny Barlow and Trey Waters. Striking-wise, I think he still looks pretty slow and stiff and robotic at times. Like, he has that tall man defense, which I don't see going away. But he is improving at a very high rate, and he's he's coming in with a lot of confidence. He's very tough up at welterweight now. Seems he has a chin there, and he carries some fight-ending power. His bread and butter, though, is his grappling. Ties opponents up with his long limbs, very heavy on top and opportunistic, and very he can snatch. Like, I think I saw a interview with Michael Venom Page that like he can just snatch like subs from like weird angles. So yeah, I think that has to be his path to victory here. Michael Venom Page, I think we all know his style. Fights out of his wide sideways stance with his hands low, constantly leaping in and out, looking to draw out reactions, create openings for attacks. When he does attack, he'll leap into range with something big, usually just like a big right hand. Defensively too, he doesn't get hit a lot, only absorbing 1.78 strikes per minute, and he's really just all footwork and distance management. He can be exploited though in the grappling, but it is hard to get him there. Yeah, we know how tricky MVP is on the feet, and it's going to take not only a high IQ fighter to beat him on the feet, but one who's incredibly athletic, fast twitched enough, and fundamentally sound enough. As a striker, I've always had my doubts on Sam Patterson, and he's proved me wrong with knockouts over Danny Barlow and Trey Waters, but his striking is not going to get him the win against MVP. He will need to go back to his roots of grappling. He's going to need to close that gap and tie him up. And realistically, if he can do this once per round and take him down, he could get the win. We've seen MVP get taken down and controlled by Ian Gary to lose that fight, and he was taken down twice by Cannonier, and even by Holland in fights he luckily already had a lead in. And while the path for victory for Sam, as well as the price we're getting him at, is definitely intriguing, I just think Sam lacks athleticism and speed. I believe he's going to have trouble closing that gap and getting a hold of MVP. Like, despite him proving me wrong with those impressive finishes, I still think he is stiff as a board and his head is right there at the center. Like, I see MVP hitting him with that fast lunging right hand and getting out of the way, maybe even knocking him out there. And MVP, like, he is tough to get to the ground too. Like, his takedown defense is solid, and a lot of the times he's getting taken down due to him like being off, like completely off balance or slipping. But yeah, I find his takedown defense not bad at all. I do think this is going to be like a kind of weird fight because these two have trained with each other a lot.
Mm.
MVP said that Sam was his main training partner for Kevin Holland, fuck, I can't even say Shara Bullet.
Yeah.
And I think even like a fight before that, I forgot who he fought, but yeah, so he's had 3 camps training with Sam Patterson. So Sam Patterson definitely knows what he's dealing with, and MVP know what they're dealing with. They're both really friendly with each other. Could end up being like a sparring match, if anything. But yeah, I'm gonna have to go with MVP here. I think there's too much of a difference in athleticism and speed.
I like it. Yeah, this is like a pretty interesting one for me, and it's been funny watching everyone go back and forth on this one over the week. But I think like MVP has a pretty like not even pretty like an extremely unconventional style on the feet. His timing's crazy. His speed just catches people off guard. He's very, very hard to hit back due to the footwork in and out. The side stance allows him to cover distance either way, like extremely fast and pretty safe. I think that, like, when I went back and I did tape, I think the Ian Gary fight is a super telling fight for this one. I think I think Ian Gary's a really good MMA striker. Like, maybe he's not the best pure striker, but I think for MMA, he mixes things in really well. And I would say he's a really good MMA striker. And he's much better on the feet, both offensively and defensively, than Patterson. So the fact that he had like 0 success versus MVP has me thinking that if this stays on the feet, like Patterson's in trouble standing for sure. I also think that if Patterson gets in close, I think he's going to have big success because, like, as you said, really anyone who's wanted to take him down has done so, and like relatively easily. Cannonier twice last fight, big weight discrepancy, so I give some credence there, but Gary, took him down several times easily. And like you said, even Holland took him down and threatened him from top position. So I think anyone who has gone in with the plan to take him down has had success doing that. So Patterson, like, he better come in with the wrestling shoes on because if he stands with MVP, he really is going to get touched up. He's got, and he's going to be in an insane speed disadvantage. He carries his hands low. His head's central. He's happy to back up. This all just sounds like a recipe to get KO'd versus MVP. Like every moment this is at range, I think Patterson bettors will be just clinching their asses real tight. It's going to look real fucking scary. Look, he clearly carries some power in the rear hand. He seems to kind of catch people off guard and like stun them and hurt them with hooks and finishes, and then ends up finishing them with big crosses. So I think this guy has kind of like underrated power. Like I think people don't expect it when they get in there. He's a very good offensive grappler. He, uses his long frame well. He's got subs that can finish you no matter where the grappling is. I also think he has pretty good judo too. So if he can get this fight in clinch against the cage, I think he could definitely end up on top of MVP. And I think if he takes the back, I think he probably submits him. Like we've seen MVP get close a couple of times to being submitted, and he does look like he fights it off pretty well. But if you let Patterson get to some of those spots that you let Gary get to, I think he finishes. So I'm really intrigued by both unders. I think under 1.5 plus 155 is very interesting. I think under 2.5 is safer, and it's minus 135, so it's still not awful. I think this is a volatile fight. I can see both guys winning. I can see both guys finishing. Maybe that means this is a good dog shot, but I'm pretty content to play the unders in some degree, whether I go more risky and go under 1.5 and go for a quick one, or go under 2.5 and go safer at a bigger price. So I think, gun to my head, I'll say MVP knocks him out, but I think Patterson is very live to submit him at some point.
Mm.
And I like the fight.
Yeah, he'll be fun.
All right, up the card to the co-main event of the evening. We got Luke Riley taking on Michael Aswell Jr. Prices, we got Luke Riley minus 190, maybe upwards of that now, maybe minus 200-ish. The comeback on Michael Aswell plus 165, 170, somewhere around there. It looks like he might be drifting though. Like it looks like Riley might be getting some love and coming in even more. But as of right now, that's what it looks to be to me. You want me to kick this one off?
Yes, sir.
All right, I'll kick this one off. Look, I really don't think Michael Aswell Jr. is like that good, to be honest. He's getting a lot of love this week, and like I kind of get it because people want to fade Luke Riley. They think this is the spot to get him. I'm really not convinced it is, to be honest. Um, I just I get it. I get it, right? This is a guy that's going to have in Michael Aswell that's, a primary boxer. He's got, I would say fair to say little power in his hands, but like clearly good volume output. He's tough as fuck. I don't think I don't think he's bad. I just think he has limited win conditions, to be honest with you. Like, you're a primary striker who has no power and is, very hittable. So just like, I don't know, it's just not conducive to success long term, I don't think. I think if you had any wrestling game, this would be a much easier side to click. But, given he's tough, he's durable, he's got good volume, can absorb a lot of shots, could win minutes by putting Riley on his ass. But unfortunately, we haven't seen him do this. And like, I think this is all likelihood this is like a kickboxing match for 15 minutes. So he's got good, consistent output. But I don't know. I just can't see him finishing Riley. And like, if it's anything, at best for him, it's a close decision, which I think feels near impossible to win in London. He absorbs just under 8 significant strikes per minute, and he lands 8. So he is outlanding. But I mean, getting 8 significant strikes land on you per minute is crazy work. Like, that is up there in the UFC. On to Luke Riley, like, overall performance versus Grad didn't age that well, but I think, to be honest with you, I think Grad's a harder fight for him than Michael Aswell Jr. Like, I know that might sound crazy because I've seen a lot of love on Michael Aswell Jr. this week, but Grad can offensively wrestle. He loves to use forward pressure. He's insanely physical. And look, Riley is clearly green and has some takedown defense deficiencies, but I really do think Grad has traits to compete with Riley far better than Michael Aswell Jr. did. I don't think Riley is going to be scared to be hit by it Aswell Jr. I think the volume is clearly on his side, but the power differential is insane. And Aswell doesn't wrestle, so I don't think Riley's going to be concerned in there in this one. I don't think he's going to have too much to think about. He's a pretty sharp boxer. Look, he does have a few defensive tendencies that have seen him hurt in prior matchup, but I think clearly when he goes, he's got speed to the punch and he's got clear natural power. I expect to see a better version of him here. Like, I think the fade will come at some point. And although Aswell is like more durable than Grad, who we've seen get clipped and hurt a couple of times, I think maybe a decision's on the cards. But to be honest, I think the big moments are only on Riley's side here. I think I don't love I'm in two minds, right? Because I don't love the price on Riley, given it's probably a competitive 15-minute striking fight where he has the power upside and Aswell has the volume. But honestly, I kind of feel like this is a discount as well. Like, I don't know how that makes sense. Like, I'm in two minds where I think, holy fuck, this actually might be a discount on Riley, like, when we see this fight. But it also feels like a little bit wide. Like, I don't know. It feels volatile to a degree. But at the end of the day, in a 15-minute kickboxing matchup, I think Riley, he's going to hurt him and maybe not finish him because he is tough. But I think Riley wins this one and wins it fairly convincingly.
Yeah, this is probably like the MMA community's most anticipated fight of the week.
I would say so.
For good reason. We got two very skilled prospects in the featherweight division, co-headlining the London card. With Luke Riley being the hyped up home fighter that the UFC wants to build up, and he comes from Paddy's gym, coming off a really good knockout. I do think Aswell at plus 250 is a crazy price. I did take a small stab at it, like at 0.75 units. Am I confident? Not particularly, but Luke Riley, in my opinion, I don't think he's deserving of the price tag just yet. I think if this fight gets extended, which I think it does, like, Aswell is very technical and durable and also doesn't quite have the raw knockout power to put Riley to sleep. But I do believe Aswell is going to put up some good numbers in terms of significant strikes. But ultimately, I do think the damaging shots will be landed by Luke Riley. He has very dangerous hands, but he's too happy to eat shots as he has a lot of trust in his ability to get finishes. And he also tends to kind of load up on big strikes. Sometimes will wait a little too long between big moments to throw again. And I do trust Aswell to push a pace and be active. Does he stay defensive enough through 15 minutes to minimize Riley racking up more winning moments to negate Aswell's winning minutes? That I'm not sure of. I do tend to think that Riley will hurt him a lot, which is why I only played Aswell's money line at plus 250 for a small output. But I think Aswell avoids getting finished here and will be able to recover if it gets hurt. I did put a 1.5 unit play on Fight Goes the Distance at minus 135 and just a small stab on Michael Aswell at plus 250.
So say that again. You put a bet on Aswell and...
Michael Aswell for 0.75 units at plus 250. Not really high confident, but I put 1.5 units on Fight Goes the Distance at minus 135.
Yep, nice. So yeah, I think Riley probably wins by decision. So I could see that. I want to see him develop, man. I want to see what he can look like in an extended striking fight. So I'm keen to see this one. Definitely, there's a lot of love on Aswell this week. So we'll see how that lands in the scheme of things. Main event time, baby. Main
Let's go.
event time, baby. We got Movsar Evloev taking on Lerone Murphy. Price is minus 240 on Movsar. The comeback plus 205 on Lerone. My brother in Christ, talk to me. Does Movsar come in here and do what Movsar does, wrestle to a decision, or does Lerone keep this insane streak he's on running?
Oh mate, this is a intriguing fight to look at. It was very fun actually, like watching both their fights. Even though Evloev isn't a finisher, I think he's pretty well rounded. He's 9-0 in the UFC with zero finishes in the organization, which is crazy, and he has 11 cancelled fights, which is crazy as well. He's a strong grappler, not content with being on top, just always working to be in better positions and keep active. Doesn't have the best takedowns per se, and doesn't have the best control, but he is relentless with his grappling. When he chooses to shoot, he is hard to keep off. Even if you stuff the initial takedown, he remains persistent. His striking is actually all right. He's got good fundamental striking, comfortable mixing it up at kickboxing and boxing range. Like his hands are where they need to be. He moves his head, throws accurate straight shots and counters. Doesn't find himself off balance often and out of position after he throws. He's up against Lerone Murphy, who's the division's dark horse. He's well rounded, sharp and precise kickboxing, switches stances very often, works off a sharp jab, builds off that with fundamental attacks, doesn't try to get cute or fancy with like techniques, other than when he threw that spinning elbow that knocked out Aaron Pico. But yeah,
Brutal.
he's fundamentally pretty sound. He throws a variety of kicks. He's got very good IQ. He's got good game planning. If he wants to mix in takedowns, he's pretty good at that. He's good at weaponizing the clinch to wear on opponents. And my favorite part about him is his composure and ability to make in-fight adjustments. On top of that, he has great recoverability too. Like does get hurt or he does like get on his back and controlled a little bit, but like he does know how to catch up from behind, and he's a good minute winner. I think these odds are very wide. Like I saw Lerone Murphy at plus 215, and it was an auto bet, but Evloev is the rightful favorite due to his grappling prowess, and Lerone, time and time again, has been taken down in UFC. And if you really look at the times where he's taken down, like a lot of it's like it comes like a little too easy. If this was a 3-round fight, I would 100% bet a bag on Evloev. But this will be 5 rounds in London. Lerone has main evented and gone 5 rounds multiple times at UFC level, while the last time Evloev fought 5 rounds was in 2018 against a guy named Rafael Diaz. Lerone averages 2 fights a year, while Evloev averages 1 fight a year with plenty of cancellations. And Evloev only just touched down in London just a few days ago, which is pretty bizarre. While this is in Lerone's backyard where he is comfortable and will have the whole crowd saying ooh and ah whenever he unloads, while they would boo every time Evloev shoots. This is also a very different time in MMA where really damage is really starting to triumph over control time. So since these guys both fight to close margins, like I think the damaging moments of Lerone will be more impactful. But overall, I think Lerone is more dynamic and can cause those impactful moments often. While if Evloev can't get his takedowns as the fight goes on and hold Lerone down, then the damage Lerone can inflict will be more significant to the judge's eyes than Evloev's constant takedown attempts and his own boxing, which is good, but he's not really a danger in the boxing range. He is good at like outscoring guys. Um, yeah, the most important part to me in this fight is Lerone's resilience. Like he's 100% the type of fighter to lose the first 2 rounds and then narrowly wins round 3, 4, and 5. He's dealt with guys looking to take him down and lay on him before, and he's found ways to get the win. I don't think Evloev is the caliber of MMA fighter to do what Hamzat did to DDP or Islam did to JDM. Like he could do that for a few rounds, but I think the takedowns will get harder as the fight goes on. Lerone will start mounting success, and if anything, I see it being 2-2 going into the 5th, and I trust Lerone in a round 5 to pull away with the fight. If Evloev can't get him down. So at plus 215 in his at home, like it was an auto bet for me. So yeah, my pick is Lerone still.
Yeah, it's a tough one, right? It's a tough one because it does feel like there's definitely value on Lerone. The issue is he just had bad takedown defense, man. He really does. And like the biggest question, I think, like I don't question if Evloev is going to get takedowns here. I think it's a guarantee, to be honest. I think he definitely gets takedowns, and I think early, like 1, 2, 3, I think he looks very, very good. The issue is we haven't seen him fight long. Like, as in, we haven't seen him fight 5 rounds, and we don't know how he's going to look later. And with a guy like Lerone, he's kind of made a career off, like, facing these wrestlers, absorbing a lot of the output that they want to come through, and then like finding a finish. Like he did it to Makwan. Makwan took him down like plenty of times. I wonder if there's people who watch UFC now who don't even know who Amir Khani is, which is hilarious. But he took him down with ease. And I think early, like he's defensively safe enough that I think he'll be fine. The question for me is like, what does he look like in round 4 and round 5, or even round 3 if he takes a bit of damage and he starts to pile up? So I'm curious on that. Allen had a fair bit of success attacking the body with the rear hand out of southpaw. He never obviously had Movsar worried or hurt or anything like that, but he was able to land really efficiently. So I think Lerone could take a few tips there, target the body instead of the head. Offensive wrestling is just so solid. Like I think Allen and Aljo are both have far better takedown defense than Murphy, and his timing looks solid. He's just really defensively efficient as well. He doesn't take a lot of risks. He doesn't get hit a ton. He likes to shoot on the single and re-wrestle from there, depending on what the defender wants to do. His sub defense is legit. It's fucking crazy. I've literally seen this guy's neck face the opposite way from his body. Like it's actually insane what some of these fucking Dagestani cunts can do. He's got super efficient scrambles. I think if Murphy looks for subs or tries to scramble instead of working back to the feet and disengaging, he's going to be in for a really long night. Because that's where Movsar thrives, like in these re-wrestles, these re-scrambles. I think everyone knows this guy's elite, like almost everywhere. The main issue is he just fights really infrequently. And like I said, I'm just curious to see his style over 25 minutes. I tend to think he'll be a slower rather than a grower in that, a person that grows into 25 minutes. So, yeah, I think it's all Movsar early. I think he looks his price tag. The question for me is like, can Lerone finish him in 4 and 5 effectively? Because I think that's what it is. I feel comfortable giving Lerone like 5 and probably 4, round 4 and 5, and I feel even more comfortable giving Movsar 1 and 2. So the question is like, does it come down to round 3 or not? So maybe that's where it does look like value on Lerone, and plus 205 does feel good. I kind of think Lerone is going to need a finish to win, and I hope he does, because he's on a monster run. And look, realistically, both these guys deserve a title shot. I think, to be honest with you, right now, I think they both deserve a title shot. So the fact that one of them's not going to get it, I do feel bad, and I think it's unfair. But that's the UFC, unfortunately, and generally that's what we see happen. So yeah, I think gun to my head, I'd pick Evloev, but I can't deny that it feels like a ton of value on Lerone in this spot. So it's an interesting one.
100%. And I also played the over 4.5 parlayed with the Silva Kurtis over 2.5. So that gets you plus money. I like it.
Nice. Yeah. Nice. What's his Murphy wins in round 4 plus 3,000. Murphy wins in round 5 plus 3,300. Hey, I might have a nibble.
Yeah.
I may have a nibble. You may see me there. You may not. We'll find out. But that is UFC Fight Night London. Movsar Evloev taking on Lerone Murphy. Let's go bottom to top. Final picks and get out of here. So, Melissa Mullins, Luana Carolina.
Oh, I forgot who I chose. Carolina, but I don't care about that fight.
Yep, ×2. Chanel Dyer, Ravina Oliveira.
Chanel Dyer.
Chanel Dyer for me too. Hopefully she finishes. Shamrock Abdul Karim Al Sawadi.
Al Sawadi.
Yeah, I think Al Sawadi should win. Brando Pericic, Louis Sutherland.
Brando Pericic.
Yeah, Pericic for me too. Mantis Controversius, Antonio Ciccoli.
Mantis.
Yeah, I think Mantis should kill him. Mario Pinto, Felipe Franco.
Mario Pinto.
Easy Pinto. Nathaniel Wood, Losene Keita.
Hosseini Keita.
Yeah, I think Keita probably will knock him out. I think. Mason Jones, Axel Sola.
Axel Sola for me.
Yeah, Axel Sola for me too. Kurtis Campbell, Danny Silva.
Kurtis Campbell.
Yeah, I like Campbell by decision. Roman Dolidze, CLD.
CLD.
CLD for me too. Ewo, Baranowski, Austin Lane.
Baranowski. Easy.
Baranowski runs through him. Michael Page, Sam Patterson.
Oh, give me MVP.
Yeah, I like the unders the most in this. Either way, 1.5 or 2.5. But yeah, I think gun to my head, I'd probably pick Michael Page. Luke Riley, Michael Aswell Jr.
I'll take Luke Riley.
I think Luke Riley is going to silence a lot of these guys. But we will fade him in the future for sure. This is just not the spot. Movsar Evloev, Lerone Murphy.
Lerone Murphy.
I think Evloev's going to win, but I may be fooled into a Murphy value loser spot. I'll see how I go. Don't have it yet, but we'll see if we get closer. And that is UFC Fight Night London, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for watching. Like, comment, subscribe to the YouTube. Share it with your friends. Follow Ryan on Twitter at Desperate Times with the Z1. You can follow me at Dribble Sport or at Provide Picks. Ryan, what do you got for me before we get out of here?
I got nothing.
Love that. Absolutely love that. That wraps us up for another episode of the Wager Whites MMA podcast. Thanks everyone for tuning in. We will be back next week for which event is it?
It is Adesanya versus Joe Pyfer.
Yes. And that is that Texas? Where is that?
I have no clue. That is, let me look. That is in Seattle, Washington.
Seattle, that's the one. In Seattle. So we'll be back same time as always for that one next week, sometime Thursday, whenever it is.